It's the proud moments that get to me because that's what I do it for, to make those proud of me that came before me and to give the ones after me something to reach for.
Don't let your age weigh you down, and don't let everybody around you keep you there.
Nobody's ever going to have the vision you have. Nobody's ever going to see it as clear as you. So you got to hold on to that feeling through no matter what you're going through, and you'll be able to get to where you want to be. So what's your passion? What's your dream? Hold on to that and consistently push into that, especially when you're younger, because
truth in the air, let it speak.
Welcome back to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown. Today, we have another person from out of town, local now, but definitely from out of town. Y'all see it when you see his hat, and I'm telling you, I've always liked that team. But listen, this episode, we are introducing to you Perry, aka P.O. Osbey. So P.O. is a podcaster, which is interesting because we haven't had one on here. Podcast, Follow Suit podcast, check that out. And the inventor of what I'm calling the inventor of hood. I'm gonna let him explain to y'all what that means. So we're gonna go straight over here. Perry, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I appreciate you having me on. It's actually an honor to know that I'm the first podcaster that's been on here. So that's definitely a blessing. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you reaching out, because we get a lot of people that reach out, but the level of professionalism that came with the way you reached out, it kind of set a bar. Like, listen, if they ain't reaching out like this, if y'all ain't reaching out like he did, listen, what I always say, Shamar, go on, sit down. You'll figure it out later.
Hey, so I would say the presentation that you guys have,
yes,
it warrants that somebody needs to come correct, because when you got a personal setup the way you guys have in a professional studio and great quality, you can't come in there, half stepping. You got to come correct. So that's just my way of going about it.
I appreciate that. That lets me know that we own it. We doing something right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So listen, Creative Roots Podcast, where we sit down with individuals and talk about where the seeds that were planted to get them into this creative space, regardless of what lane it is. Before we do that, and you tell us what that first seed was, I want to jump straight to explaining what HOOD stands for, because I know you can do it better than me.
Yeah. So HOOD, yes, it says the word hood, but it stands for hold on to our dreams. So it's a motto of mine that I live by. It's a passion. It's a brand. It kind of took on its own legs. I am the second oldest of like 30 grandchildren. I have kids of my own. And I wanted to be able to provide something. I also coached football, which we'll talk about later. But I wanted to be able to create something, a message that was catchy to the younger generation and continue to inspire them to hold on to those dreams. You're going to go through things. You're going to face adversity. But the thing that keeps it alive is that dream. Nobody's ever going to have the vision you have. Nobody's ever going to see it as clear as you. So you got to hold on to that feeling through no matter what you're going through, and you'll be able to get to where you want to be. At the age I'm at now, I'm still holding on to those things, which is why we're having these conversations. But it's a constant pursuit of purpose, in my opinion. So, yeah.
That says a lot. And like I always say, I hope y'all caught that. So listen, hold on to your dreams. Mm-hmm. And this is the motto that is a part of your Just One recruiting, right? So let's talk about that, because I ain't forgot the first question, but I want to throw that out there too.
Yeah, so Just One recruiting. Growing up, I played football in Maple Heights, Ohio. I'm from Cleveland originally. Maple Heights is an outskirt of Cleveland. You see the hat, it's Cleveland. But I played for coaches who didn't really explain to us what our options were growing up. So we didn't know we always knew Ohio State, we knew Cincinnati, but we didn't know the different little schools around or the different resources that we had to be able to get to that next level of education. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like we had a lot of people that thoroughly cared about that. They just cared about winning and not what we did with our lives past that point. So I wanted to be that person that I didn't have when I was younger. Now, don't get me wrong. I had coaches that, still have a relationship with me, but I wanted to be able to create a platform to where I can educate kids on these are the options. There's millions of schools giving out free money Now, how can we find the one for you to get that education and take some of that money because you deserve it? Of all races as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's something that I speak about a lot too. Like you're in a space and it's you can't really what's the word I want to use? You can't fault people for what they don't know.
Exactly.
But when you know, it's one of those things of what I say is when you know better, you're expected to do better, right?
Yes.
So you do a lot of mentoring, even if you don't think that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You helping a lot of people, especially young men, work through this process of you don't have to just go here
Yeah.
or you don't have to just do that. Cause like I told my son, you don't have to be on the field to be in the NFL.
Please say that one more time. Please. You can make it, young men and women, you can make it to the league without getting your body broken up or hurt. Rich Paul, another Cleveland native. Okay. He's another
Yes.
uneducated. So they say he don't have a college degree, but Rich Paul is from Cleveland, Ohio. So I have a lot of respect for him and his journey. We're close to the same age. I got to see it all unfold. He made it to the league. And guess what? He'll be in the league a lot longer than the athletes because God didn't give him a piece of paper. He gave him a brain, and he learned how to use that brain to impact others. And how can he make a difference in his own way? So he's carving his own path. And that's what I want to try and educate these kids on is because you can make it and have an impact. There's kids on my team now who they're not the most talented. I know that, and they know that. But come here, I'm going to teach you some lessons so maybe you may be in my shoes one day. So I completely agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah. See, I told y'all. You have to be able to be somebody that cannot just receive information, but give it. And when you give it, know who you talking to and know how to aim it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's go back to the top of the episode, right? What was the first seed that was planted? And you probably already answered it. You can elaborate, of course, but what was the first seed planted that got you into this space as far as creating what you've come up with so far?
So are you talking about referring to the recruiting or podcasting? Are we going to pivot to the podcast later?
Whichever one came first.
So I'll say I'll start with the recruiting aspect of it. I played against the Kelseys growing up. They were Hall of Fame guys. They're going to the Hall of Fame. And we played on a team where we beat them consistently. But we always knew they were great, right? But they had people in their corner who knew how to push them in certain directions where it didn't seem like we had that. A lot of guys I grew up with, we just had high school success as a team. Guys should have made it to the league. A lot of them didn't. So that was the first eye-opening moment where it was like, okay, what's the difference between people that look like me getting to where we want to go compared to people who don't look like me and they weren't as successful as a unit and they weren't getting there. So that was the first avenue of me opening up and figuring out how can we get, because I had siblings coming after me and I wanted to get them on the path where I can get them pushed into college and give them access to the things that I didn't have. Because my biggest thing growing up, I always felt supported, but I never felt understood. So people always was in my corner. Always, whatever I wanted to do, they were behind it. But I don't think they ever understood me as a person. I don't think they ever valued the things that I was trying to accomplish. I was always asked, am I going to school? But never, what am I going to school for? I never was given those tools and asked those questions to open my mind up to that point. So that was the first seed in the recruiting and mentoring aspect, I would say.
You sound like me sitting over here right now. Because these are some of the things that I tell my family members, my cousins, my friends. And it's like, I'm not trying to be deep, but like you said, great, you're going to school, but what you going for?
Yeah, what is it about?
Are you sure that's what you want to do? Well, why did you choose that major? And I'm not asking because I want you to doubt yourself. I'm asking because I want you to be sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you get out here in these semesters, you getting to drop 10, 15 grand if you got to pay out of pocket, depending on your school.
Yeah.
You don't have financial aid, you don't have a scholarship, things like that. What are you going for? Don't do like some people. You get all the way there and it's like, well, last year, and then you drop out because you've been unsure the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect, not to get on you, but You could have went to a community college
Yeah,
and took
and
gen
did that,
ed
yeah.
and then figured it out, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't even think about it from that aspect. They think they have to go directly to this 4-year institution, and you don't have to.
And that's what comes back to the hold on to our dreams motto, because you chase what you're passionate about, not what statistics tell you should do. If your
Right.
passion is to be a doctor, you can go to school, you can get a degree, you can become a doctor. But
Yeah.
just going to major in business, that's vague. That's very vague. And there's no direct path towards being a business owner from having a degree in business. So what's your
Right.
passion? What's your dream? Hold on to that and consistently push into that, especially when you're younger, because you have more error for mistakes. You don't have people relying on you, depending on you, that you got to feed. So while you're young, I would say hold on to those dreams, pursue it, protect it at all costs. So that's my saying when it comes to that portion of it.
Yeah, hold on, protect it. Because like you said, that's your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that strong passion for it, nobody's gonna have that for you.
Exactly.
You know, like, and I said a lot, like, I can't expect, Shamar to carry out the videography that I do the way that I want it done, because that's not his passion.
Gotcha.
He does photography. Don't ever think that he about to rely on me for his pictures. I'm just saying, because we ain't gonna make it. This whole thing gonna be shut down. Like, I can take some dope pictures, but I don't have Shamar's vision
His
for
eye
it.
for it.
Yeah, I don't have his eye for it. Like, and I'm going side note. We do events and it's like, oh snap, I saw that, but I didn't see it like that.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a video and he's like, dang, I didn't even know you captured that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, listen, especially to the young people. I'm not even gonna say just the young people. Remember, there are people that didn't get a start in their career until they were in their 40s and 50s and some even 70s. You know what I'm saying? So don't let your age weigh you down, and don't let everybody around you keep you there. If you didn't see it, go check out Nigel's episode. I did a whole crabs in a bucket explanation that's completely different from everybody else. So yeah. Anyway, so you go through these things in school and you see the bigger picture instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a massive support system. Have there been people that just look at you and be like, man, have you had to deal with any of that negative stuff?
Yeah, a lot of times.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Especially it's crazy because it's from like the friend groups. So again, my friends I have the same friend group since like 3rd grade. We're very close. But they don't have the same ambitions that I have. They'll be content in a lot of things that they have. So as I got older, I had to understand that just because we don't have the same ambitions don't mean you don't love me the same. So I had to remove myself from the conversation that I had with those friends, because that can pull me down and that can get somewhat depressing, because these are people that I should trust with my most valued thoughts and things like that, but they don't value them. But I had to get with like-minded friends. So now I have friends that, okay, I can talk to him about my visions. My homeboys from back in the day, I can talk to them about just life in general. But when I'm talking about building, I got to come to you about that. You know what I mean? So it's that was the kind of balance I had to find, and it was tough trying to find that and navigate through it. But now I'm in a good space now that I understand it.
Yeah, it's something that I speak on too. I say some people can't see past their own mentality. Hey, real quick, just wanted to say thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast. If you are a creative and you're interested in being a guest on this podcast, feel free to send a DM on Instagram or TikTok, and you can find us at creativeroots.podcast on both, Creative Roots Podcast on Facebook, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Back to the episode. Some people can't see past their own mentality. They can't see past their own environment. They can't see past what they have accomplished. We all know that one person that you say, oh, I'm getting ready to do this. Like, ooh, I don't think you should do that. And
You ain't gonna make no money like that.
Right. But ain't that gonna be some hard work? You sure you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? And I just had a conversation with one of my sisters about that. And it's like I said, people can't see past their own mentality a lot. So like you said, again, protect it. Protect that dream, Let's go to this podcast, this follow suit podcast, because I don't want to go too far with this, because I know intertwines
It'll all
and,
tie in,
and
yeah.
crossroads at some point.
Yes.
So as far as the podcasting goes, or being into the, I guess, and I'll loosely use this word, content creation space,
Mm-hmm.
what seed was planted for you to get into that?
Well, back in 2019, I lost my uncle, who always seemed to be like a the light of the room, the motivator, the one that inspired everybody. And he took his own life, and you never saw it coming. And he took his own life because he was dealing with problems that he didn't think anyone could relate to. And so I wanted to create a platform where it's not all about mental health, but it's just about we're having authentic conversations with an everyday person or celebrity. It doesn't matter, but we're talking about common topics that we all go through, because you're not the only one going through your problems.
Right.
The purpose of the name follows suit. As a culture, I feel like we've been dealt a bad hand, and they expect us to follow suit. But we're trying to change the narrative of that. And I want to change the narrative by having these conversations. I don't have to know you to be able to bring up, be vulnerable and talk about something. And I'm sure either you've been through it or you know somebody who's been through it. And we just talked about 4 things in the first 10 minutes that we both mutually been through. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to create a platform where it can be authentic for our culture. And we can just speak about these things out in public, because when you see somebody else is going through what you've been through, it makes it easier to breathe and relax. Like, okay, damn, I'm not the only one experiencing this, and it's gonna be all right. So that was the first seed. When my uncle passed, that was the first seed that planted for me to start using my voice.
My condolences.
Appreciate it.
That's,
Appreciate it.
I know that's something tough to deal with, especially when you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
You know, you see somebody in the hospital and they going through, but nah, not like that. So 2019, you take this space and say, I need to start talking to people, letting them know
Mhm.
it's not just you, right? And you've had a good number of guests on there going through a lot of things and being in that space of vulnerability. You and I don't want you don't necessarily have to, talk about their personal things, but how has the growth been with this podcast? Not just the people that have been on there, but even your audience.
Well, the audience has been great, because even when I went through a stint of something personal that I went through, and I'll dive into that later. But when I had to take a break, I've had people from that I haven't spoken to in years reach out and ask, like, hey, when's the next episode? Or they'll hit me up for a question of the day, or this is a topic that you should cover. And that was something that was enlightening to me, because I was originally just doing it to just have healthy conversations and kind of just vent. It was like I really kicked it off during COVID. So that's where it was like something to do. And I was just using my uncle's story to inspire it. But then when I started seeing other people like really take a taking to it or a liking to it and hitting me up about it and things like that, that's when it started growing legs, and they started asking for it to hold on to our dream shirts, because I would wear that on every episode. So then it became like a whole ordeal, and I felt like in that moment I realized it was bigger than me. So that was the growth, was the connection to the people. That was the growth. I ultimately started receiving, I strategically would put like alcohol bottles on the cover of my table for each episode, and like Diddy, don't judge me, guys, but Diddy commented when I put, because he had Ciroc, and everybody knows Ciroc, but nobody really drank the dark Ciroc. So I was like, every episode we're going to drink the dark one. He eventually commented on one of my posts. I took that and leveraged it with other alcohol companies. I started getting bottles sent to me. I wear a hat all the time. I receive hat and merchandise. So just having a vision. I worked in corporate for 10 years. So having a vision to try and get in contact with other people. So people started sending me things as well to kind of be like an ambassador for them. That was another outside source. Sorry, it got long-winded.
No, you good. Look, that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know, take and talk. Ain't that right, Shamar?
Oh, take and talk?
Listen, I'm here for the talking points. I'm here to listen. I'm here to assist the audience with knowing, because the biggest thing for me is letting people know who watch the show. Everybody doesn't start from the same spot.
No.
Everybody doesn't go through the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like something I've never mentioned, like I lived in my car for a while.
Wow.
Everybody can't say that.
Wow.
everybody can't say that they've been through a lot of things that I've been through, or you, or Shamar, or anybody that's been on this podcast so far, right? So you get long-winded, I'm cool with it.
That works.
You know
That
what I'm
works.
saying?
Yeah. And to kind of double back on what I was saying about the growth. One thing that my wife really credits me for, because my wife is a graphic designer. She went to school for that. So any logos that I have, banners, she created it. But
That's
one thing
nice.
that she always valued about what I have is when I have a vision, I can see what it's going to become in the long run before anything else. I just need help getting to that point. But like when something comes to mind, I can see like, boom, I want to take it to this level. This is where I'm trying to get it. This is where it's going to go. And I'm proactive, and I carry myself as if, like when you said I was professional when I reached out, I carry myself as if I'm a Drink Champs or one of those big name podcasts, because if I want to get to that level, I have to act accordingly. And I would say that to anybody who's starting anything. Pay attention. Don't just listen to things for just for luxury of just listening. But like, if somebody in a podcast that you admire is talking about how they got there, take notes and try and apply your own little sauce. There's more than one way to get to a certain point. So just try and figure out your own path. And I'm still trying to figure out my path as we go. So I haven't made it, but making it is different in everybody's eyes. So
Yeah, so it's success.
yes,
Some people be like, oh man, you're not successful because you don't make, 6+ figures a year, da 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 da. But
it's more success than that.
it's like, even when I make these 6+ figures a year, success is the fact that, and no shots to nobody, I'm married and we've been together for, oh Jesus, girl, you old, 22 years.
22?
22 years.
Oh man, congrats! Shout out to that.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to that. I'll be married 8 years in October. 10 years together, 8 years in October.
We'll be married, if I'm counting correctly, 17. Yeah.
Yeah, that's success.
Yeah. 17.
That's
Yes.
success.
Married 17 years. To me, that's success.
Yes.
We have 3 kids together.
Mm-hmm.
And due to statistics that I'm not touching because I don't know exact statistics, like, to be a married Black couple and have that says a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yay me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
All of my kids are by my wife.
Yeah, and
yes.
it's like, again, no shots to anybody. I'm not going there, but it's just, to me, that was successful.
Absolutely.
Especially the way I knew how I was,
Yeah.
before I met her.
That's another
That's another conversation for never.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for never. It's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, this is good already. You dropped a lot of knowledge already, and I hope people, like you said, are taking notes. I say it almost every episode. Take notes, because there's so many things that are being stated in these episodes that you can't just grasp in this sitting of 25 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
right? So when it comes to the Just One recruiting, right? And again, you've been a football coach. Do you see the players being able to take what you say and implement it in what they do in like everyday life?
That's a funny question. It's a struggle because not only am I working with the players, but I'm working with their parents as well. So it all depends on what's trickling down from the top. And that's with
Right.
everything that we deal with. So if a parent is putting in the kid's mind and they're conditioning in the kid's mind, you got to go to Clemson, you got to go D1, D1, D1. If they're instilling that in their brain and then that kid doesn't get that big offer that they're looking for, then they won't have it in their heart to go to a Wingate. That's still a 4-year school that can give you a full education. But
Yeah.
the kid is not going to be grateful for that because you told him that if it's not this school, it's not any good. So it just depends on what the parent is putting in their minds. I try to educate them that with this whole transfer portal thing, right? That means one kid from a kid from Ohio State can transfer and he can go to North Carolina. North Carolina is going to take that kid 100% of the time over a kid in high school. That's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
I try to prepare the high school students like, hey, if you're a senior, and you're not getting that interest, it's okay to look at a Lenore Ryan or a Western Carolina, get that education,
Yeah.
go see these schools, because in reality, they can offer the same things. It's just that North Carolina can offer more of it. But at the same time, do you want a degree? Is that why you're going to school? You can go get that there. Do you want
Yeah.
a scholarship? Is that why you're going to school? You can go get that there. So it comes down to what the parents are, if they're supporting me on that. But when I first started, I would take any client, right? Now that I've been doing it for about 4 years, I kind of have a intro conversation,
Mm-hmm.
see where their head's at, and if they're not willing to buy into that, I just won't accept them as a client, because they're not willing to adjust their vision or what they want to try and pursue, pretty much. So
That makes sense. Yeah. When it comes to the parents, I'm trying to figure out which lane I'm gonna go in with how I'm about to put this, but y'all know me. Tay kind of don't even care, right? So, one, allow the kids to set the bar.
yeah,
But me as a parent, I'm gonna raise the bar just a little bit higher because I don't want you to get settled here.
yeah,
But if my bar is way up here and my oldest son is in middle school, he might see that, but he's still trying to figure out how to get that.
yes,
My son, I asked my son, I said, how long do you plan on playing football, right? He said, until I can't anymore. I said, so what that tells daddy is you need to be preparing for the Hall of Fame.
mm-hmm.
I set the bar way up here, right? But knowing he's only in middle school, I say, so what are we going to do this week? What are we going to do this month? What are we going to do in the off season? That way you can condition not just him physically, but mentally
Yeah,
to get to that point. And I also had to let him know, like, listen, I understand you like playing defense. I understand you like hitting people, but what if you can't? And I'm not saying that you can't, but what if you can't?
yeah, that's a great point. I feel like, well, this is what I tell players when they come into the school. Like, you don't play a position,
Mm-hmm.
you play football.
Yeah.
You're either on the field or off the field. So don't come here saying I'm a running back, because if you can't get on the field at running back, what are you going to do to get on the field? Do you love it that much? And
Yeah.
to your point about conditioning them mentally, that's the biggest point. One of my old managers that I used to work for, we had a rough falling out,
Mm-hmm.
but I really respected him, and he used to always say this quote. It stuck with me forever. You can't expect results from work that you don't do.
Mm.
So if you're not conditioning yourself or preparing for that, you're never going to get to where you want to go. It's okay to have a high bar for your kid. I am never saying not to. I have a high bar for my children. But
Right.
you also have to have a realistic bar in there too, as they grow, to where you can see, like, okay, Clemson may not be the school for you, but that doesn't mean there's not a school for you. So
Right.
just having that realistic side of it for everybody, and that understanding, because they can still get to where they want to be. It just may take a different path. Everybody has a different route.
And how are people backing you as far as the recruitment part?
So when I initially started it, I wanted to make it a nonprofit, and
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to charge people money to push to get their kids recruited, but trying to get grants and going through that whole process is a whole nightmare in its own right. So there's companies out there, I'm not going to say their names, but they charge people thousands and thousands of dollars to recruit for their kids, and they really just have a platform, and their kid has to do it on their own. I also, like I said, I coach at a high school. So for the kids at my school, I'm actively pushing them to go to college. They're not really paying me to do that. The school doesn't pay me to do that. Only kids at outside schools, they pay me for services. Or if a parent on the team wants extra help
Mm-hmm.
than normal, then they can pay me as well. But they see the results on Twitter. Actively, you'll see consistently any kid that's getting connected or offers, or at least sent to a campus in the city. Usually I have a hand in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actively taking them to camps. I'm actively promoting them around the clock. So I take pride in, like, genuinely trying to get them to the next level. And once you help a kid and their family, that word of mouth is bigger than any promotion that you can have.
Yes, it
So
is.
whether they look like me or they're white or they're Asian. It doesn't matter. I've worked with all types of families. They're very supportive when they see like, hey, he really cared about what my kid got into and helped me get into the right direction. I try to show up for signing days, and all of those little things because it's more than a paycheck. I really wouldn't take the money if I didn't have to. So the support has been authentic because the work has been authentic.
And you didn't mention it, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but I feel for a lot of young men, they don't have that father figure to even push,
Yeah.
the way that, some of us need to be pushed, because you have to talk to everybody individually, not just the kids, but also the parents. You have to talk to them where they are. Most of it just being a mental thing, some kids you have to say, hey man, listen, don't do that on this field again. Other ones you kind of got to like just bark at them a little bit for them to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I just had to put that out there.
Well, for me, as far as recruiting goes,
Yeah.
I won't help a kid with recruiting unless I talk to their parents. That's I don't ever want anybody ever confusing that he's trying to take advantage of these kids. Absolutely not. That is never the thing. The money's not that important to me.
It's not.
I will never, ever sacrifice this kid's future or situation just for financial gain. That's never a thing that I would do. When it comes to coaching a kid, you have to coach everybody. You coach them differently because it's a million personalities on the team. But that comes from relationship building. I am an open book. My kids, my players, I'm very transparent. I tell them I love them every day. Some of them I have to tell if they look like me and they're from around the way. I have to tell them. Like I told a kid one time, like, hey man, let your guard down. Let your guard down. Just do the work and let me guide you. All right. They're going to respect you for your play because this particular kid is the best player I've ever coached. Truly amazing athlete, but he had a sour attitude. But it's because of where he came from and where he's trying to get to. And he didn't understand the environment that he was in when they moved. And this young man was just like a all about me type of personality. And everybody else was rejecting him for it. But I said, hey, listen, man, you always work hard. They can't deny that. Your play is always incredible. They can't deny that. So just let your guard down. Let me guide you. And then, once he did that and started buying in, as a whole, the community got behind him. He started receiving offers from like Tennessee and Kentucky and all of those things. But it just came from a relationship building thing, not from I had to coach this amazing kid and make him amazing, but I just needed him to open up the mind aspect of it. And that's what it is with all aspects of life.
Mind opening. Because some of y'all still got closed minds. We ain't just talking about these kids. We talking about y'all as parents.
Yes.
And some of y'all parents be put, Shamar, I don't even care. You know how this goes. Listen, when it comes to these kids, you have to understand they are kids. You have to talk to them as they are children.
Yeah.
These are not adults yet.
You can't put your hands on them. You can't say, meet me out. No, you can't do that. You can never do that.
No, because you don't know what they're going through at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What if they don't have a father around?
Right. Because it's like you have kids that get bullied. And a lot of times they don't say anything because of quote unquote snitching culture. Or if you say something, it's going to be worse the next time. Yeah. So you have to just understand that they kids, man. Of course not you, because you get it. You know.
Yeah. But still, I understand because at some point I had to start and I had to figure those things out because there was kids when I first started where I was never disrespectful to a kid. That's just not in my nature. But there were certain things I had lower patience for when I was a younger coach that, it took me time to understand like, oh man, he gets his guidance from me. He don't have that guidance at home. Right. I have to be the one that does, and not just me, but our community of coaches. But I had to come to that understanding like, I can't give up on him. Because everybody else has done that. So I had to come to that. Everybody goes through that. That's a part of the growth in it. So yeah.
Yeah. They don't just need a coach. They need a mentor, which brings everything back full circle, right? Because at the end of the day, that to me sounds like one of your main passions for doing anything and everything that you do, just to help people out of a situation that they may not even know that
Yes.
they're in.
Yes.
So
100%. My biggest thing is to inspire the generations behind me that I'm connected to, and even the ones that left from beyond. I'm very, very, very like everything I do is a dedication. That's my bio on Instagram because it's the truth. Like it's disrespectful for me to go through life living in a manner in which my grandmother taught me otherwise. That would be disrespectful to my grandmothers. It would be disrespectful to my uncle and my aunts. So everything I do, I try and walk in that light. My godfather passed when I was young. I was very close with him. So when I became a godfather, I treat her like the world. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's all about what has been passed down to me, so I can pass it down to the next generations. Which is why I created Follow Suit because more people need to hear, not just from me, but from you and from Shamar and from other people like us, because everybody has a story. And I feel like once you understand somebody's story, you will appreciate them a little more, if that makes sense.
yeah. I'm one of those people that when I do talk to people, again, I talk to them where I know they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more you know about somebody, the better you can communicate with
Yeah.
them. And I take all of that and I just, look at people and just say, you know what, you can never judge a book by a cover because you don't know that person's story.
Yeah.
That cover might look rough, but that might be the most passionate story you'll ever hear. And you have some covers that are pretty, but that book is full of
It's empty.
It's empty.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. So I'm trying not to go off on a tangent because I know I can, right? But listen, so the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
this podcast is touching people. It sounds like you're getting sponsorship, maybe even brand deals from this. And I kind of want to have you talk on that because I think people don't know. To me, this is a creative space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To do a podcast, regardless of what it's for, you have to have some kind of creativity in it. You talked about how you had the bottle of Ciroc there, right? You just put it there. Nobody really drinks it. Diddy reaches out.
Yeah.
And now you have other people reaching out. And how has the podcast space been for you, if that making sense?
Yeah. So I took a hiatus for about a year and a half, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the podcast space has been very good for me. But when I got into it, it wasn't to become like to make a living off of it. So I didn't really understand how you can make a living off of it when I first got into it. I thought it was streams, just like with music, and then every certain amount of streams you get paid. Not really understanding at first that it comes from advertisement and things like that. Once I started to learn that side of it, I started being proactive about reaching out to companies and trying to market myself and sell it. The podcast space has been good to me because of I always feel refreshed when I come from having a conversation. I hear other people's stories. But I had to take a break because in April of last year I got into because they can't drive down here in Charlotte.
Ooh.
I got into a severe car accident. I was driving to work. Somebody ran the stop sign, hit me off the road, literally almost killed me. I was unconscious for about 30 seconds. I had to stop working. I had severe back issues, had to get 6 epidurals, things of that nature. So I had to stop everything that I was doing. Was going through a lawsuit, have to be in a hiatus. So I had to stop filming. I had to stop working and things like that. And coaching was the only thing that kind of mentally kept me out of it. But fast forward to this year, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in my life because everybody hits that wall. Everybody hits that wall and you don't go to it. You got to go through it to get to where you want to be. So I took time and I text about 30, 40 people, close contacts in my phone, of all the things that you know that I'm good at. What is the number one thing that you would say about me? Everybody in different messages always said my connection to the people, my connection to the people. That no matter what talent I have, that was the number one thing in some form that they all said. So that led me back to the podcast and it let me know that it was purpose behind that, which is why I immediately reached out to you because I wanted to get back into it. Since being in Charlotte, I don't really have a team down here. It's just me. I don't have a videographer and all of those things. I'm just here trying to build. Back home, I had that support system, but I'm starting fresh down here in North Carolina. And so that transition has been, it was very high when I was in Cleveland. I still had a carry of wave when I got down here. But when I got into that accident, I hit a rough patch, and now I have to transition out of that. And I have to hold on to that dream to be able to get me to where I still want to go. So it's been it's ups and downs, but at the root of it, it's always been refreshing, and it feels like the right thing that I need to be doing is sharing stories and connecting with people.
How long have you been in Charlotte?
4 years now. So I moved in June of 21. Moved in June. My daughter was born in June. No, in July of 20. My daughter was born in June of 21, and then we moved the next month.
4 years. And he know that y'all can't drive out
Hey,
there.
listen. It was crazy when I worked in insurance. When I worked in insurance back in Cleveland,
Yeah.
North Carolina always had its own policies, and I never understood why. It was always like, okay, New York, California, Florida, I get that, but why does North Carolina have it? Now I understand it now. so it's all love, and if you see me on the road, don't run me off the road again. But it's all love. Yeah.
Okay. So you took this break because you had to.
Yeah.
And you said something that got my mind going, right? You reached out to your 30 to 40 closest people and said, hey, what's the biggest thing you know about me?
Yeah.
To me, that is free game because it helps you hone in on who you are that you don't know, that you may not be paying attention to. It could be a subconscious thing of, oh, well, I know I can do this, but then, them 30 people could have said something completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to send this message out to some people.
It's humbling when you get those responses, because the whole time I'm expecting something creative. That I'm expecting them to say something tangible, that a skill that I actually have, but in some form. And it's not like 30 people who all know each other. It's not we're in the same text. It's not like that. It's 30 individual messages. And in some way, shape, or form, the first thing out of their mouth was like your relationships with the people, the way you connect with the people, the way you build with the people. It was always the people, the people, the people. And I was like, damn. Sorry if I'm not supposed to cuss, but yeah, I was like, damn, okay, I know what I need to do. And my wife was very supportive of it. She was like, hey, listen, we got stuff taken care of. Just take this time, heal your body, and figure out how you want to get your stuff back going and fully dive into it, which is what I'm doing. And this is me putting myself fully out there to build with other like-minded people like you guys, because it's all about building. You don't have to know each other to show love. It's all good. There's no hate. It's a creative space. You know
Y'all hear that?
It's all love, man. I
it's
swear.
It's all love, man. Because you have to be able. It's one of those things that's like, give what you're expecting to receive, And if you're not showing love, you're not supporting people, you're not communicating, you're not networking, you can't expect people to know who you are or to find you if you're not putting yourself in a space to be seen or found. Because I know when I send that message, I don't know, at least one person gonna tell me I talk too much.
And that's fine. But is it purpose? Is it value behind that conversation? You know what I mean? That's fine. I know somebody who talks too much. I can't stand to see her coming. I hate it. I hate to see that person coming.
Look, I ain't pointing no fingers. And I ain't saying no names, Shamar. She's probably like, today, not today.
Not today.
You just want to talk to me, don't you? You just want to talk today, don't you? I'm like, listen, I got a lot to say. But then when you have people like that don't talk, they get real quiet. You're like, you okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, because that's something that I needed to hear. It's not always about what you think. Take heed to what other people are saying. Yeah. So let's bring all of this together now. You have Just One Recruiting. Mm-hmm. You have Follow Suit podcast. You have your life experiences the second oldest child.
Second oldest child in my family and grandchild as well.
Okay, because
My
I'm.
mom's the oldest of her siblings. I have a big brother, and then it's me and all the 100 other grandkids.
Right.
Yeah,
So you have all of this that has basically changed your mental. Most people would say at this point for the better, right?
Yeah.
Because we know coming from certain situations, people's mental doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
And you're using all of this to reach a community, not just children, not just kids, but and not just football players, a community.
Yeah.
And you have coined hood. Hold on to your dreams, right? So let me ask this. Coming full circle, what's that feeling like to know that you're really making a difference in the community?
Man, it's very humbling to know that. I once interviewed with the mayor of my neighborhood in Maple Heights, Ohio, in Cleveland, and at the time, I didn't think much of it until I saw the reaction of like the people before me were proud. I don't really, when I watch movies and things like that, I don't get teary eyed from sad things, but it's the proud moments that get to me because that's what I do it for, to make those proud of me that came before me and to give the ones after me something to reach for. And, I truly aspire to be someone that people can be inspired by. And as long as my grandfather's a pastor, and he once said, "Never feel guilty about what you're doing, as long as you know that in the pureness of your heart, you did it with good intentions." And everything I do, I at least attempt to do it with that. So it's rewarding when I see people have a liking to that. I know that might have been kind of like a lot or a mix of words, but that's the biggest way that the biggest takeaway I have from that question about impacting the community. So
No, it's not a lot of words. I mean, it's a lot of descriptive words,
Yeah.
So it's not like it was empty. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I appreciate that. So with everything, what seed would you want to plant for those listening, regardless of age?
Well, one, I'm sure you probably know where I'm going with this, but always hold on to your dreams. Hold on to your dreams. You never can be too old. Protect that dream. Believe in that dream, and just know that it's yours. It's not no one else's. So nobody can ever tell you you're foolish or you're making a mistake because it's something that you see. Nobody can see it the way that you see it. That's my first seed. And then the second seed is, regarding follow suit and the podcast and the message that I want to put out there is that, you're not the only one going through what you're going through. We all as a people, whether it's somebody I've interviewed, Ted Ginn Sr., he's been through things. We all are humans. Okay. It's human nature that we're going to go through things. You're not alone in those problems. So just be transparent. It's okay to be vulnerable. And as black men, it's okay to embrace another black man and say it's all love. It's okay to embrace a black woman and tell her that you appreciate them. It's not that hard to be a good person. RP to Malcolm Jamal Warner. I saw one of his last posts and he was talking about like, I just want to be a good person. And that's what I aspire to be. So yeah, that's my speech on that.
Cool. So listen, get back into it. Run that podcast. Let me know if you need us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me know. Let Shamar know. Sitting over there. Look at how he looking. Y'all know how that go.
I don't know what that means.
Don't even worry about it.
But always looking to build for sure. 100% always looking to build
Yeah.
Organically, authentically. We can exchange numbers and talk about it off camera. Definitely open to building for sure.
Yeah. I'm cool with that too. I like this space because I'm a storyteller, right? I like telling stories, and it's like to open the door to hear other people's stories, not just for me, but for the audience. Because again, I can talk, you know, and I'm trying to wrap this up, y'all. Y'all know how this goes.
Okay.
But
It's okay.
I appreciate you being here, man, and sharing your story and letting people know, because I'm pretty sure somebody is looking for some way to elevate themselves and their kid, regardless if it's sports or not,
Yeah.
you're a mentor at the end of the day, right? You have the recruiting program, but to hear somebody else say some of the similar things that I would tell, my kids or my younger cousins, or even, people older than me, wisdom goes a long way,
Yeah.
and it doesn't necessarily come with age. I'm gonna let that sink in.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm 37. I was born with gray hair. I always got people always made jokes about it. But it is what it is. I feel like I have a lot of experiences, and I'm far from knowing everything, but I've been through a lot, and I'm not afraid to, express that, talk about it. I do want to say I appreciate you guys for the space that you have. Coming from where I come from in Cleveland, it's a big crab in a barrel mentality there. Usually if you reach out to another podcaster, they're not as welcoming to have you on in their space. And to be able to build and collaborate with people, like-minded people, is very refreshing to see. Moving out of state was a very big thing for me. Every time I'm going home this weekend, and every time I go home, I feel the toxic energy of the city. And it's like, I can't wait to get back to Charlotte, because it's just, when you're out of state, you pick your community now. You weren't raised in this community. You pick that community. You
Right.
pick where you want to build at. And it helps you spread your wings and find different things that you didn't know you had inside of you. And then you can connect with people like this, which we don't have anything consistently like this back home. So appreciate what you guys do. And it's definitely a blessing to see Black people doing it the right way. So yeah.
See, Shamar, we doing it the right way. I appreciate that. I kind of joke about that because at one point I was like, man,
No, they don't.
I just feel I need to do it, and I'm an overthinker. Shamar's like, hey, release them episodes.
Oh, just do it.
Yeah, and here we are. So listen, I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for reaching out the way that you did, right?
Sure.
Because like I said, I'm not even going there. Shamar, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it. He said thank you.
There's Black folks, and then there's N-words.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So again, appreciate you being here, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah. So on Instagram, I'm PO_Ohio_CEO. You can also follow @Follow Suit Podcast Network on Instagram as well. I usually collaborate and share my posts together. And then on TikTok, @Follow Suit Pod. So we're getting more and more active on TikTok. Those are the two main platforms. I also have a Twitter @Follow Suit Pod. I'm open to collaborate with anybody. You don't have to have a big name. You just have to have a story. And be humble, be genuine, be authentic.
Well, that's it for this episode, y'all. Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown, and we are out. Peace.